Well, if you take out your calculator and do basic math, basically, if I was hitting $2 a mile all loads right off
Shit. So let's start there. Didn't demand anything, right? Did not demand anything, right? But did you tell people that you were paying me 25 cents a loaded mile and that's it? And then I was told one thing, right? I'm told shit. And then what actually happens is completely different. First I'm told, oh yeah, we'll pay you $1,500 a week. Then it's 25 cents a mile. Then it's 25 cents a loaded mile, or it was just 25 cents a loaded mile. Then I was told I'll be paid after every load, right? You're paid after every load, right? But the reason I was staying up all day to book loads was because you're busy on the phone talking to other carriers about, oh, I could get this and I could do that and I could do all this stuff and everything else. But how none of that? Why didn't any of that materialize, right? You're busy trying to get deals for yourself and everything else. That's fine. I get it. But I'm all in on the thing that I'm in on. So tell me again who's supporting whose business. When it came time to be paid, it's, well, I'll pay you tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and it's, well, I'll pay you the next day or whatever. So who was working for free, right? Yeah, I was working for free, not knowing when I was going to be paid again, if ever.
didn't you get another big chunk of money yesterday?
Sure, sure. And you want to run around and tell people that you quote unquote kicked me out of the truck and all this other shit? Yeah. What was the reality, right? The 100% truth is you needed to go home for an appointment for one of your family members, right? That's the truth, right? What did you do? You dropped me off in the hood. You told me, oh, yeah, we'll stop and get you some suitcases and all that because clearly my stuff isn't packaged to travel on public transportation. Dropped me off in the hood with all my shit that I couldn't carry with one load, right? And said, oh, yeah, I'll give you part of your money and then I'll give you the rest when you get on the train. That didn't happen. Days later, maybe, but regardless, it was all on me to get my own self home on fucking Amtrak that I've never traveled on with more shit than I could carry by myself, right? All because you want to create a story. So create a fucking story, dude. But then tell the whole fucking story, right? Again, you're not going to destroy my credibility, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying something. I didn't mean to interrupt you half rant. Well, I recorded enough of your rants in the truck when you didn't even realize I was recording it because I was trying to cover my ass for later. But, and the only reason I don't put all of that shit out public is because I still like James, okay? You know, we may not be getting along this morning after last night and everything, but for the bottom line, I'm going to protect James and make sure that nothing bad comes against him. But you sure like to fucking throw James under the bus. And you like to talk bad about your deals, and you like, I've got it recorded where you're yelling at him on the phone. Remember that last trip we did, and you were in the back for 4 fucking hours yelling at James about how unfair your life was and all that, and he kept telling you that it's really not his fault. You're the one that took all your inheritance from your mom and all your credit cards and all the money you had in the bank and spent it on a woman who hasn't even given you any yet, because in your mind, if you spend enough money, she'll sit there and know that, oh, you're a good guy. Man, you're fucking 45 years old and you're dating a 24-year-old white girl with a baby and a fat ass. What common sense does that fucking make?
Sounds like it's all called the old victim of circumstance. How about pull the heads out the asses? How about that? And you talk about, you're talking to oacer, and then you bring James into the equation to make it. I don't get it, man. I don't fucking get it. Why you gotta again throw the guy under the bus or whatever it is that signed your check? I don't get it. Keep that shit behind the scenes privately, man. God damn. And that's just my opinion.
That shit should have been kept inside best motor carriers. This and oacer for personal gain, divulging conversations that were transferred in confidence, then doxing oacer. And with no due respect, dude, when did you get the white coat to tell others about oacer's health And you're not protecting James. You're just proving that you are untrustworthy. And then facts.
100%. That's exactly how I feel, man. And again, this is just our opinions. Take it for what it is. But, dude, I don't know. It is what it is.
No, I did it because everybody sees him as this big fucking Boy Scout. But the bottom line is, he knew that he was physically unable to properly drive my truck. And he was able to fake it for a little while, but apparently, like during their little Christmas fiasco, he fell and hurt himself again, and he didn't tell me about it. So it wasn't until I woke up one night and caught him jamming gears and fucking shit up that I finally realized what was going on. But the bottom line is, he wasn't truthful with me. He almost fucked up a $200,000 truck's transmission by driving it any way he fucking wanted to after I told him not to. And then his excuse to me was, well, this is the proper way to do it. Just because you don't drive your truck right doesn't mean I'm not gonna. And I knew right then, at that moment, the moment those words came out of his mouth, he was done. I was going to do that last load from California to North Carolina, and he was fucking done. And I did not let him touch the truck a moment after that.
And what makes your truck different than any other truck in the United States? What makes your truck so different? I mean, I've drove a bunch of trucks. I mean, they're automatic or they're straight shift. Clutch, no clutch, double clutch, float. I'm sure Oacer's drove many trucks. What makes your truck so fucking different?
Because it's my truck. I pay the insurance on it. I pay the note on it. I pay like $4,000 a month on that truck. That truck isn't just my truck. That is my home right now. I pay for an apartment for my family, but that truck is where I live at. And I was nice enough to let him come into that, share my bunk.
That may be true. I wasn't there. But there was 1,000 different other ways to handle this than throwing him out of the truck like he did. You could have made sure that he was in a safe place, or you could have booked a load, got him back to Wisconsin, or even dropped him off at Best's house. I mean, I don't understand it. I would never drop anyone out of a truck unless we had a physical altercation inside that truck. There's no excuse to drop a human being like they're garbage on the side of a road.
Okay, to clarify, I did not. I dropped him off at the bus station in Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, not the best neighborhood in the whole wide world, but I would have gotten him closer, but they have low bridges in that area, and I couldn't get my truck underneath it to drop him off. I put him on the side of the road, right there on the sidewalk. I didn't just throw him the fuck out. I helped him get his bags out, and he had to walk about 1 block to the fucking bus station. Not the bus station, the train station.
Well, I think you should do everybody a favor and stop dogging Oacer as bad as you are. Because you don't like it when people dog you. I don't like it when people dog me. But you're messing with Oacer's livelihood, his career. He can drive a truck. I don't know what else he can do, but he can drive a truck. You're just throwing him under countless buses for personal gain, and it's absolutely hot fucking garbage.
Okay, this isn't for personal gain right now. The bottom line is, Oacer does not need to be in a truck ever again with his feet the way they are. He is no longer able to physically properly drive any truck, not even an automatic. He cannot fucking do it. The only reason is I even got him recording saying it. The only reason he passed his last DOT physical was because the doctor just went ahead and checked him off. He didn't even look at his feet. If you had a regular DOT physician look at his feet right now, they would immediately take away his CDL. He is not physically able to safely function a commercial motor vehicle in the United States.
100% wrong, asshole. 100% wrong, Dr. GW, since you know everything. Let's go anywhere you choose. Pick a fucking place. Pick the fucking doctor as long as he's on the National Registry, asshole. Put it on the fucking glass since you know so much, since you saw everything, as you say. You didn't see shit. You just, again, adding to a fucking story, right? Because whoever hired you to ruin my character, you're just ruining your own. But keep on, right? Soldier on, motherfucker. The reality is, I'll stand up to it, right? No problem. Pick a doctor, pick a place, pick all of it. As long as it's on the National Registry of people who are certified to do DOT physicals, let's have at it.
You don't have to do that, Oacer. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, Five DOT physicals. Not once has any one of those doctors asked to see my feet.
I had it happen one time, but it was a pre-hire physical where you had to go in and do like a duck walk and all that shit, and they asked you to take your socks off, and they looked at your feet. But that was only one time. Most of these guys that are out here with the national, on the national registry, they don't look at your feet. But with that said, I've seen guys with one leg or half a leg gone driving, and all I had to do is put them in an automatic. So, yeah, I call FUBAR on GW for saying that shit, But again, I wasn't there, didn't see the feet, et cetera, et cetera. But with that said, it's just an opinion.
Well, trust me, I got enough stuff to prove everything I'm saying. The only problem is that in order to do it, I would have to burn James down in the process, and that's not what I'm doing.
Put everything you got out, dude. I will stand on anything I've said. I will stand on anything I've done. And by the way, recording people against their fucking will and recording people without their knowledge is a fucking federal crime. So I'm sure you know that since you're all versed in that type of shit. So, what does it say about your character that you're fucking recording people because you feel, and then making up this story of, oh, I need this evidence or whatever, right? Fucking conversations that you have with people or whatever. Yeah. Tell us again how you're fucking trying to destroy someone's character without telling us that you're doing that.
It's easy enough. That happened within the state of Texas. Texas is a single-party consent state. I was one of the persons in that conversation, and since I knew it was being recorded, it's perfectly legal. Yep, I know how to cover my ass. Thank you.
Yet, when you were recording him talking while Oacer was driving, you kept dropping the phone down because you thought Oacer was going to catch you. He was going to look to the right, catch you, videoing him. So you kept dropping it down. More your fingers are in the video than Oacer. You knew you did wrong, and you're wrong now. You will be wrong in the future. It's just fucking wrong.
Maybe, but whenever you're willing to put your $250,000 truck on the line, then we can match notes, and you can let Oacer drive your $250,000 truck and fuck it up. But, in the meantime, I'm not taking that chance. I have a family to support, and he himself is a danger to himself and other people on the road. And if he gets back out there and quit and starts driving and then fucking wrecks that truck, I hope that you, sir, will step up and donate to the family that he fucking kills because you thought it was his right to drive.
Cry me a river. Everybody starts out in trucking. You don't have to have a long-nosed $250,000 truck to make money. You can lease purchase. There's all kinds of options in trucking. But you got to know how to do the job. You got to keep the left door closed. You got to keep the maintenance up. It's all the fucking same. You don't have to have a $250,000 truck to make money out here.
Yeah, talking about the recording, it's
right
what
there,
invoice.
part of it.
However, it's illegal to video record someone without the consent in private places or if you intend to invade their privacy. That's in the state of Texas law. The term is voyeurism, dude. You're not right. You're wrong.
No, I got it. I totally understand it. But go ahead. Let's go take it to court, and we'll go ahead and bring out everybody's private information that Oacer talks about in that video, and it can all be made public record. I think that's a great idea. Let's do it.
Well, if it means standing up for the truth, then let's have it, because I stand on the fucking truth. So if you want to ruin my character, have at it, motherfucker. If you think you're going to win this fucking war, yeah, I'd have started praying a long time ago, because that quote-unquote video you're talking about was not in the state of Texas, and there's no timestamp on it, so it's your word against anybody's as to where it is. So good luck trying to prove that. And as it goes for your transmission that you keep telling everyone that I ruined, I've told you 4 times, and now I'm going to tell you a 5th time. Take it to a mechanic. Have a mechanic inspect it. Have a written estimate put up showing that whatever you say is wrong with it was caused by my driving and my use of the clutch and double clutching, which is how I learned to drive a truck. You don't use a clutch. So the fact that you think that it's just crazy that maybe one person uses it and another person doesn't, and the truck doesn't understand both of those driving styles, I get it. That's fine. It's your truck. I struggle with learning to float shit because I never learned that, so I don't know how to do it. So I guess that's on me then. That's fine. If I don't know how to float gears, okay, I don't. And I told you that 4 times now. I've said that several times. So if floating the gears is what's causing it, that's not on me. So get a mechanic to sign that. Let's take it to court. And if that's the problem, then I will happily pay for what you claim is the damage to that by using the clutch.
Well, I showed you how to do it, and your response to me every time was, "That's not the way I learned how to do it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm teaching you another way to do it, doing it the right way." And you argued with me about it, saying, "Well, just because you drive your truck wrong doesn't mean I'm going to." I'm the owner of the fucking truck. If I tell you to run the thing fucking sideways on the road, that's the way you're going to fucking drive it because I'm the boss.
You are the boss, and I apologize. I'm not very good at doing shit that the truck's not designed to do, right? So that's fine. I apologize. I'm not clearly. We can all understand that I'm.
Okay, before we go much further, let's go back to that thing you just said. "Oh, that's not the way it's designed. That's not the way." Dude, I'm fucking trying to show you a better way to drive. This is one of our biggest fucking arguments we had in the truck. I was trying to show you a better way to do things, but you always go back to this, "Oh, well, that's not the proper way," or "That's not what the rules say," blah, blah, blah. Like you've got this higher than everybody else, great moral fucking compass that you follow, while at the same time, hitting on young girls and shit like that. I mean, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you'll break your rules about dating, but you're about driving the truck. And in the process, it ends up costing me money to get fucking repairs done. That's why I decided after you argued with me in Barstow, you were done. We were going to get one load done. If you remembered, I tried to book you a load going up to Illinois, but Josh couldn't find one.
Again, James or GW, whatever it is, want to inflect on stories, right? He did find a load. Except tell the story how it is, GW. He did find a load for $1,600, but that wasn't good enough for you, so you went and booked your own load that took 4 days to deliver over the weekend, 2 stops, 2 pickups, 1 delivery, a pickup on Thursday, and it could have been a pickup on Friday, but the deadhead to get to the first pickup was 200 fucking miles, right? This is a load you booked off truckstop.com who only you have access to, and the dispatcher, right? And he saw that load, but 4 days for $2,400 for a team load is not a good load now, is it? Or maybe you think it is because you're the owner, but you know everything, right?
Well, the dispatcher and everything was one of the biggest arguments we had because my intention getting you in the truck was that we were going to do 1,000-mile loads or 1,200-mile loads back and forth every single day. We would have been doing that every 24-hour time period. We should have been able to do that 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week, and we should have been doing about $2,000 to $2,500 a load. We would have made fantastic money, but it was an argument with you guys every fucking day about the stupidest shit. Instead of just booking the same shit back and forth, every time I would say, "Well, hey, we could do this. It's kind of dedicated." Every fucking time I mentioned something to you, every fucking time you would come up with something negative to say to refute it because you just could not accept the fact that we would actually have something good going on. Of all the things that I've dealt with you, with your feet, your relationship bullshit, even driving the truck, of all the things that I've dealt with you, I could have probably put up with all of it a little bit longer if you just hadn't been so fucking negative about everything all the fucking time.
Listen, I don't understand what my relationship choice or my personal life has anything to do with other than you trying to destroy my character. What does that have to do with driving a truck? It doesn't. I was never even on the phone. I was on the phone with that person 1 time in the truck. So what does that have to do with anything? Nothing. So drop that motherfucker. You don't hear me talking about any kind of shit in your personal life, do you? No, because it doesn't belong to whatever unless you're trying to destroy someone's character, which you're clearly trying to do. Dude, when you're on the phone all day and you're not booking loads, guess what? I'm going to fucking try and do that. So that's why I stayed up. So for you to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do all that." I understand the spot market. I understand when good loads pop up, they don't stick around because there's thousands of other people looking at the same fucking loads. Whether you understand that or not is not my fucking problem.
That was one of the biggest problems I had with you and James is the fact that I knew the flatbed or how to run flatbeds, but I didn't know the spot market. You guys kept trying to tell me to run my flatbed like it was a fucking regular van trailer, and it doesn't work like that. Yes, teams can work with flatbeds. I've done it before on 2 different occasions, and we made really good money. Like with me and my brother, we just had other agendas in life. We could still be doing it to this day, but we both wanted our own individual trucks at the time. But we could have still run it for years. We actually did it for over a year. But two people living on top of each other does get cramped, and it gets old really fucking fast. But he's my brother, and I love him, and I get along with him. But you, dude, no, man, I could have gotten along with you, but just no. I think that's probably the reason I'm doing more of this than anything else. I just want people to realize that you are not who you present yourself to be. You're talking about your integrity and your moral character and all this stuff, and it's just completely fucking opposite than what you're presenting to the public.
Listen, dude, I'm the same person everywhere, right? Put out your fucking videos. Put it out, dude. Please, please, please put it out. You know what? If you don't put it out, then everyone can just assume that I'm the same person that you publicly see and the same person that's behind the scenes. Otherwise, put it out to prove your fucking case, dude. If you don't put it out, then we're just going to go on, you're full of shit. Because you're just talking shit, right? And talk is fucking cheap until you got fucking proof to back it up. And I got no problem backing up who I am behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and everywhere else. I'm not trying to be somebody else, motherfucker. I'm standing on who the fuck I am. And if there are times where that's wrong, and I'll be and wholeheartedly stand there and take my correction. And if that's not the case, then I'll take my correction from the man upstairs, and I'll be more than happy to be judged by God himself. And I would hope that you would say the same. And if you don't, if I were you, I wouldn't want the shit that you're creating. I don't want that. That's why I'm not running around trying to destroy somebody's fucking character, right? So whoever put you up to this, dude, you might want to just fold your cards now. Otherwise, you're gonna end up on the losing end of this deal.
Well, at the end of the day, you're nothing but a little slave to a bunch of different people. And I hate to put it so brutally like that, but that's the bottom line. And then you try to take that servitude and force it on other people that don't fucking want it. And that's where you and I had a clash. I'm not going to take a backseat to bullshit when something's not right. And that's the bottom line. I won't go into all the details with everybody here that's listening, but, you know, at the end of the day, I just, it didn't work out. We're going to call it that. You're not the person that I need to have in the check teaming with me. And we'll just leave it at that.
That's probably smart. Maybe you should have made that choice days ago before you started trying to drag me through some fucking mud that was wholeheartedly unnecessary, right? Wholeheartedly unnecessary. But again, these are your choices, not mine, right? I don't, if you want to continue down this bullshit or whatever, that's fine. I'm going to defend myself. But it is what it is, dude. You make your own choices and live by your own choices, and I'll do the same, right? The reality is this. You were the owner of the truck, you're the owner of the business, and every single load was ran by you. Nothing was booked on top of you without your decision, without your knowledge or anything else. But when you don't make a decision, that is making a decision. So not booking a load and then saying, oh, people are out to fuck me, everyone's fucking me. Dude, any of these choices that you're talking about that I had all this shit lined up or whatever, follow that road. If it leads to the money that needs to be made, no one would have said no. But no roads were ever followed, right? You have access to...
Let me ask you a question real quick. It kind of goes into what you just talked about. And I really, really, really hate to be throwing James under the bus with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, and you can agree or disagree. But does or does he not tell us that we have to be looking at the load board while driving at the same time? That we literally have to be scrolling to the websites and trying to read the load board at the same time while we're moving down the road?
He tells you to run your business how you need to run your business, dude. That's what he tells you to do. So you do that however you choose to do that. If you need to do that, that's fine. If you don't, you had a dispatcher, right, that you're all against using, that's fine. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to use that. Not a problem. There are many choices in life, right? So again, now you want to start throwing someone else under some bus that you're doing or whatever. Again, I'm not playing along with your fucking bandwagon. So you want to throw people under shit? Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off again like that, but you're rambling on the same stupid shit as usual. The point I was trying to make was you are of that same mindset that it has to be now, 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 now. There are a lot of times where I need to stop, take a look at the load boards, and then I can make a decision about what I want to book from there. You're one of those people that it has to be done in the next 30 minutes or, oh, we're going to lose it. And we ended up getting so many shitty loads. And the problem is when I'm driving and I'm shifting and I'm going up and down the mountains, I don't want to look at the fucking load board. And you really don't want me to talk about our dispatcher right now. I really don't want to throw James under the bus like that right now because that's a whole other fucking can of worms. And that right there, dealing with that guy, doubly proves what a fucking idiot you are. But, you know, again, that's another story for another time.
You already had no problem running that shit through the mill on Narc Show, right? Oh, you didn't think about that, right? That's just out there for everyone's public knowledge or whatever. So you opened that can of worms. No one else did, right? So, again, Maybe you should think before you speak.
Nobody knows about our dispatcher.
Maybe you should go back and listen to your own words that you publicly said. Because I listened to them. I paid attention. I wonder how many others did.
Okay, so to pay that guy who lives overseas, I won't get into the whole depth of it, but did you or did you not sign up your bank account and give him a copy of your ID to a fucking bank and a fucking guy in a foreign fucking country so you could pay him?
I didn't give anything to him, per se. No, I did not. He does not have that. So it is through a completely licensed app, and that's it. 100% licensed and sanctioned, and I have invoices to back up the work that was done. So
Okay, so one more time, and this is one of the first arguments you and I had because I wasn't fucking doing that because it's fucking stupid. But you signed your ID and gave access to a foreign bank, not of the United States, where you have zero legal recourse, despite how great you think their reputation is. You gave complete access to your bank account and a picture, your driver's license, to a foreign fucking country. Why? That makes no fucking sense. And I wasn't going to do it. That was one of the first big arguments you and I had.
again, nobody asked you to do it, right? Nobody asked you to do anything. So I don't understand what your problem is. Again, with something that's my fucking personal choice or not choice of my own personal life that has nothing to do with you. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't want to use a dispatcher, you don't have to. Then book the loads. But this idea that, well, when I'm done with my day or I have some time in my day, I'll just stop and look at the load board and then go with what's there and hope that there's shit tons of really good loads at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, there might be, but there also could not be because they've been gone for hours. And then turn around and blame that on James or blame it on me. I mean, life is what it is, right? We can just blame everyone else instead of taking responsibility for our own selves, our own business, and our own life. Let's blame everything on someone else.
And you keep saying businessman, the rest of us, James sacrificed the money. He put up everything to have that truck running, and you tear it up. And then my truck, I make the sacrifice to have my truck paid for, to pay for my home, to pay for my equipment, and you're talking about tearing it up. When has oacer ever made the fucking sacrifice for anything other than running his fat fucking mouth? And, oh, I'm a man of integrity, blah, blah, blah. I do this, I do that. No, dude, I'm afraid you're not.
Well, I'm afraid that I have the receipts to prove that I've made plenty of sacrifice, right? I've paid for all kinds of shit. I've paid for all kinds of shit and not run around and said, here, James, I need reimbursement for this or whatever. I got receipts to prove it. So I've made plenty of sacrifice. And you say I tore up a truck, right? I drove that truck for 400,000 or 500,000 miles, something like that. So it had 700,000 or 800,000 on it. And when I got out of it, it had 1.2 million on it. So as you say, I tore it up. I drove it for 3 years or something like that. So as you say, I tore it the fuck up, right? It was never on the hook. Neither was your truck, but I tore it up too, right? According to you. Again, take it to a mechanic and get some proof, or shut the fuck up, because then it's just your fucking opinion. Your opinion is fine, but your opinion is not fact.
Well, I think at the end of the day, I know how I'm going to handle this. Like I said, I'm very limited as to what I can expose because James and I are on I may not be working for him as much anymore, but we're on a very good, we can still be friends at this moment, I'll say. And I'm not going to throw him under the bus because you're just a fucking, honestly, how do I put this safely? It's an illusion, man. You've built up this fucking illusion that oacer is this cool guy and that, oh, you have this strict religious morals and these guidelines you go by, but it's just bullshit.
Then put out some proof of it, dude. Put out some proof, right? Put out something to back up what you're saying, other than let's throw around his foot, let's ruin his moral character by putting out his personal information and talking about his personal life that has nothing to do with driving a truck or anything else, right? Again, all you're trying to do is run me and my character through the mud, and you basically just said that. So again, put out some proof or knock it the fuck off, Narc. Because just like Narc, you suck at it, dude. You're fucking losing. So put your fucking tail between your legs and move the fuck on to someone else who don't give a fuck.
Well, you obviously do give a fuck because you're in here ranting and raving. I mean, have you gotten another job yet? I mean, that's my question, because I put you off the truck days ago. And have you gotten another job? I mean, have you been able to go down and apply for somewhere else to go make some money?
Again, my personal life and my fucking life has nothing to do with you and your fucking truck. So just like James tells all these people that give a fuck about running him the fuck out of business, why the fuck do you care, dude? Why is it your business or whatever, right? I didn't fucking, you can have the opinion that I tried to put you the fuck out of business, right? Because normally when people don't get paid for their work until days or weeks fucking later, after they're supposed to be paid, normally they just tell you to go fuck off because you don't fucking pay people, right? I have compassion to understand that there's other shit in life that goes on, right? I understand all that. So I already understand shit. I've already been through all this stuff with a different person, right? Again, different situation, not throwing anybody under the bus. Shit happens in life. I get it, right? But this idea that you're gonna fucking destroy me and destroy my character because you have he's out here with this high standard and everything else. Yeah, I do hold myself to a high standard. Am I perfect? Nope, far from it. But that doesn't make me better than anyone else. I'm not out here.
Well, you're going to do okay, man. That Tennessee guy and that other guy, TJ Bull or whatever, man, they both just said that they would give you jobs. So, I mean, you're set.
Hey, good morning, big deals. What's going on in here?
Listen, dude, I'm whoever the fuck paid you off somewhere in the world or the universe or whatever it is to fucking think that you're gonna bankrupt me and all this other stuff. Congratulations. I mean, you did it, right? As far as you know,
Well, for you, it's only truth as long as we're not allowed to talk about certain things because the things that you don't want to talk about are the ones that reflect more on your character than anything else. But, we'll just go ahead and leave that out there. And yeah, hey, Cardova, what's going on, man? We just, we had a bad evening last night, and I'm no longer teaming with oacer, and it's just, the end result of that has just not turned out too well.
no, dude, we'll talk about whatever. Put it the fuck out there. Put it the fuck out there and let's talk about any of it, right? Put anything you got on my life, put it all the fuck out there. Do you want to air any dirty laundry? Or air it all, motherfucker. The closet's wide open. What do you want me to put out there? Put it out. Let's put it on the glass, as they say, right? Put it the fuck out there, right? We're gonna drag the motherfucker through the mud. That's fine. I said I'll stand on what I do and don't do, right? I got no problem with judgment, GW. You have a problem with it? Because you're the one trying to ruin somebody, right? You're the one trying to ruin somebody, and you're the one trying to.
Well, and again, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and stop you there before your long-ass rant where you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. I don't want you to be unsuccessful. I want you to be very successful.
No, sir, I don't want you to be unsuccessful, but I'm going to put out your personal information and all that shit and talk about how you tried to run me into the ground and ruin my family and ruin my business and ruin my home and everything else. But I don't want you, and I left you, and I'm going to tell everybody that I kicked you out of the fucking truck and left you there and all that other shit, right? And tell them what kind of terrible person you are. But I don't want you to be unsuccessful. I'm just going to make shit up and fucking embellish stories and everything else to fit your story. But I don't want you to be unsuccessful. Tell me again, GW, because I'm listening.
Yeah, we were just basically, GW, we were just basically mentioning and calling out your antics, and we called them chicken shit. And then for you to come back and saying, well, we got a job for, you know what? Goddamn, dude. You're a drama high school queen is what you are. And what you're doing right now is, well, the both of you arguing about it on this is ludicrous, if you ask me. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, the bottom line is I don't know if my phone finished.
You'd have to repeat because he broke up.
I know it keeps messing up. No, what I said is he's really good at brokering and doing other things, but as far as him physically driving, his days behind the wheel are done, and he needs to acknowledge that. That's where he and I started having arguments because he needs to realize he's not safe behind the wheel anymore, and he needs to move on to something else. But when I confronted him about this, he said, well, I have to survive. So he's willing to put my truck and other people on jeopardy on the road just so he can survive a little bit longer. And I find that unacceptable. And that's where he and I started arguing.
Noted. And respectfully, that's your opinion. Again, but it is your truck. You made that decision to let him in, not knowing any facts, but, and we're just a bunch of bystanders listening to both sides of probably a one-sided story. But again, for me personally, it's about your guys' argument or whatever is again on you guys, but why bring it out and throw the guy that signed your check under the bus? That just doesn't make sense to me to bring it out here like this. That's, I think, my biggest deal and Tennessee's biggest deal. And that's just, again.
Hey, I don't have a dog in this fight. I've just been sitting here getting down the road. But I got a couple things I want to say. One, you should never bite the hand that feeds you. I agree with Bull of the Woods there. And oacer, hey, dude, if your foot's really, really bad, man, you should probably get that taken care of, dude. I hate to see you, lose a foot or, a knee or some shit, have to get a peg leg. Another thing, Bulls. So if he's got a bad foot, you feel like he's not safe to drive. So what do you think of me with cerebral palsy driving the truck?
Well, it's one thing with you that you've worked with this condition for a long time. He's only had this for the past 6 months, and it's been getting progressively worse. Some days are better than others. I mean, I've sat there while he hammered back, towards the end, he was hammering back more meds than he should have. I won't get into it, but, shit like that. It's just, you start seeing the signs and you try to help somebody out and you say, look, man, maybe this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. And his whole mindset was, well, I have to survive. I have to do this. I have to do that. He really doesn't have a lot of bills.
Again, what the fuck about my bills, my life, does that have to do with driving a truck? It doesn't. Nor does any of that, dude. None of the medication I take is any different than any of the shit I've taken for many, many years, right? Countless, every single drug test I've ever taken, 100% passed, right? Is there anything wrong with taking Tylenol? Nope. People do it every day. So this idea now that we're going to turn him into a drug addict and all this other stuff, keep reaching, motherfucker. Keep reaching.
We didn't even mention the fact that I had to basically threaten to clobber your head in one day because I had asked you twice before to quit hanging off my fucking door whenever you were climbing into the truck because you were having problems with your feet and problem with your legs. And I had to show you how to climb up in the fucking truck again because it takes you the better part of a minute to get inside the truck because you can't move your legs properly. So what you were doing was reaching up on one side on the handle and then reaching on the other side on the handle of the door, and you were putting your entire 300-something pound body hanging off my fucking door, and it didn't set right. I had to get it readjusted. And then it took several times, basically having to threaten to clobber your head in to say, hey, quit doing that because you're bending my fucking door. But I should have only had to say it one time. I shouldn't have had to say it a bunch of times.
Again, it was only said once, and I did not realize that I was doing it. So if that's the cause of that, again, that's fine. Take it for an estimate, and I'll be happy to pay to fix it. Right? Because I was hanging probably more weight on it than I was supposed to. And then I learned a different way to get in there without even touching the fucking door. So again, if that's fine, that's fine. Take it, get an estimate, and I'll be happy to pay for it, right? Because I stand up for what I fucking do and what I don't do. But again, let's throw someone else's. But anything else, dude, air it the fuck out, right? Put all this shit out here, right? Let's put it out here. Tell everyone what kind of bad person I am and everything else, and provide the facts and the proof, and put the videos out or whatever the fuck you've recorded and all this other shit. Put it the fuck out, right?
Okay, here's the thing. You haven't denied anything I've said so far, about the clutch, about the door, the other things. But these aren't conversations that you and I should have ever had to have. I should have never had to tell a 20-year veteran working at Schneider about any of these things. These are things that somebody who's been maybe a year in the trucking business should have fucking known. But I'm having to constantly reteach a man who claimed he had 20 years of experience in the business how to do some shit that I consider pretty fucking simple.
Well, again, I apologize that nobody told me how to quote unquote float gears. So I never had someone show me how to do that. So I assumed that using the clutch every time, I learned how to double clutch, right? Now, TJ Bull of the Woods, I know he was at Schneider. So I don't know if he was there as a company guy. But again, I'm not trying to throw anyone under stuff. Again, that's just how I learned to do it. So again, if I'm wrong for not floating gears, then it is what it is.
I went to Snyder as an IC and had plenty of experience, so I did learn at Snyder. But when I learned, it was push to float because of the synchronization in the. Well, let me rephrase that. We were told in school to double clutch, but when we rode with our trainers, they said it was better on the transmission and clutch brake and all that to float. Now, everybody has their own opinion on that, but when I had a 13-speed or an 18-speed, I floated because of the synchronization of the gears, you use the RPMs. So, and word has it, it does save the clutch and clutch plate longer. But again, that's a matter of opinion. 10 speeds are more of a double clutch type training. So again, it could be up for argument, but yeah.
And again, not trying to expose too much of your personal business, oacer, but because...
Again, though, if you're a team or you're in somebody else's truck, like in training or whatever the case may be, and it's their truck, and they say, and I'm not siding on anybody on this, but if they say float the fucking gears, you float the fucking gears. And if not, you work on it until you do. I mean, it is what it is. That's just respect for the other person's vehicle, And again, I'm not taking sides on anything. I'm just saying. Learned to double clutch, and my first trainer, before he had something happen, I don't remember, I had to get out and get one with another trainer. He was all about double clutch. And the second guy's like, no, you're floating, dude. And that's where I started and learned. And yeah, it is what it is. But I still implemented using double clutching when I was, because it seemed better for me to downshift as like if I was getting off the freeway, get off and go to a truck stop. But that's about the only time I'd used it.
Just grind them till you find them. They'll be fine.
Well, the problem that we had was like either the first or second time I had this conversation with him, it didn't go like this. It was the same thing that he just said a moment ago. That well, if I fuck it up, you let me know. I'll pay for it. And he told me that I was the one doing it wrong. And I'm like, no, I told you how I want this fucking truck run. This is not up for debate. When I'm the boss, when I'm the one running the show, it's not an argument to because you think you're doing it better. No, you drive the way I fucking told you to.
Okay, so what you just said proves exactly what I was fucking saying, right? Because, oh, he's a different motherfucker talking different shit when it's behind the shit. No? Again, what did I tell you before? When I was in the truck, it's the same thing, right? So, yeah, TJ's right. It's your truck. If you want to fuck it up, I apologize for not learning faster or better to bend the rules or whatever it is. And that's fine. I apologize for not learning to float gears or whatever because it's your truck and it should be done how you want it, whether it's right, wrong, or otherwise. It's your truck and it should have been done that way. So I apologize for that. That's on me. So if that caused a problem to it, then I'll be happy to pay for that. And that's because I stand up for what I believe in.
Well, the other thing is when he got the truck, it had 400K on it or whatever, and who knows what the other person or the other people that had it before him drove. They both could have double clutched. They both could have floated. It's hard to say. So with that said, the damage could have already been done prior to, if there is any.
Sure, and that's a very real possibility. But to GW, who's attempting to prove that I'm apparently, by his standards, unqualified to drive a truck, even though I have millions of safe miles and never had an accident in a truck that I've never learned, that I never knew how to drive. Right? I've never driven anything other than a 10-speed. Right? A manual and an automatic. So that's all I've ever known how to drive before this. So, but never hit anything. So it is what it is. You can destroy people's character all you want. Again, I'll stand for whatever it is I did, right, wrong, or otherwise. People have their opinion on it, and apparently people both double clutch and float gears, and apparently it's fine either way. It's just apparently not fine when two people drive the same truck and the truck doesn't understand which to do, which is most likely the cause. But take it to a mechanic and have it inspected to see if that is.
Good God, that shit again, man. I hate to sound like Team Tiny, but fuck, man. Anyway, no, I hope you do really well in the office. I hope you really do well at dispatching or brokering or whatever it is, but your days behind the wheel are done. There's more to driving than just operating the vehicle. There's other things that go with being a trucker besides just being behind the wheel and moving it down the road. And you're no longer able to do that. And I'm not going to rat you out to the government or anything like that, but you need to start looking for something else.
All right, all right. There's only one way to settle this: fist fight in the parking lot Halloween 2 years from now.